Hold on. There it is. You're live.
What's up, guys? Sorry, I'm like 2 minutes late. Didn't mean to be.
Oh my God.
What's up?
Vincent No Bucks just crushing it on timekeeping this week.
I mean, he knows. So that's fair.
All right. We got to start off by saying hi to everybody. Hi, everybody. We got
Hi,
Anthony
James.
up in here. We got Vince up in here. We got, oh my gosh, who else we got? Engraved Dreams, Laura from Laser of Love Creations,
My
Ed
glasses aren't
C.
that good.
Oh yeah, Ed C is really excited to be here. He wants to see what this is.
Coming over.
Got Michael from ET Laserworks. Bronson's here. Bronson got a 2,000 cup order. I know he's going to tell everybody about it. Pretty cool.
That sounds like a year or two of college right there.
Dude, that sounds like he's going to quit college. Like seriously, like when I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, man, if he can do this and make this in a couple weeks, he's going to realize, like, do I really need it? Anyways, let's see. We got Sean Gunn. It's good to hear about this one. Oh, bless you.
Bless you, sir.
Thank you. Oh my God.
Let's see. We got Sargon's here. Nice. What's up, man? I haven't seen Sargon in a while.
Mr. Tavor.
Yeah, and then we got Mike C. And finally, Frederick, and yeah, everybody's here, man.
The
Frederick.
Fedwick Chronicles.
It's because his last name is like Alkvist. I was gonna say like Frederick Alkvist, but anyways, he gets to finally catch a live stream. What's up, Frederick? With the RW.
Laura says there's an echo. I don't hear an echo.
Are you actually listening to the stream?
Hang tight. Keep talking.
Well, I'm going to talk about stuff that doesn't matter so I can cut this out when we do the edit without feeling like I gave a good presentation on something only to discover that there's a horrible echo. That's all I got. Hopefully Kyle hears it.
Let's see. Vince, J-Bake, and somebody else said they don't hear one. Miranda said no echo.
No echo.
Ed says there's no echo. Get on with it.
It's possible you have a second window open with the stream and they're both playing at the same time.
Oh, I've done that before.
Who was that, Laura?
Crazy. Yeah, Laura.
I've done that more times than I care to admit.
You know what it was that happened, by the way? I clicked the link and I'd already had it like open where I'd like commented first and I left it open in one of my windows. And then another one was it opened it in Edge. Like, who the hell does that? Oh, yeah. By the way, Frederick says perfect pronunciation. So eat it.
Fedwick.
Frederick Alkvist. Anyways, so yeah, 2 windows up. Okay. Anyways, all right.
All right. Good. Now that we're done gaslighting Laura, imagine if it was just like a huge scam.
A conspiracy.
We have a box from Mactron. We're gonna open it up. So let's open it.
Here we go.
Look, I love just every square inch of this is just covered in the Mactron tape.
How do you know it's from Mactron?
In case you weren't sure where it was coming from.
Yeah.
There's no question.
Yeah, there really isn't. There we go. Top down view.
Top down.
I think we're gonna go in right here.
I bet you're opening it sideways.
The point of entry in the end.
In the end, it doesn't even matter. Nobody?
Alex is trying so hard and come so far.
By the way...
That's why they call me the Rear Admiral.
Oh, my God.
Ed has a question. He said, hey, is that from Mactron?
Yes.
It is. By the way, this is replacing our live stream for the night. So just everybody knows, because everybody always asks. So this is replacing our live stream podcast tonight.
Yeah, yes. We're trying to take some breaks here and there from the podcast so we can catch up on publishing them, which we're still fairly behind. I'm going to just leave it here for a second. Does anybody in chat know what this is? You guys know what we're looking at yet?
By the way, while you're looking at it, trying to figure it out, I want to say thanks to our sponsors, Johnson Plastics Plus. They're awesome and wonderful, and have sent me several boxes. Oh, yeah, sure did.
Oh, okay, good.
So they've sent me a few boxes too that I actually just filmed and have turned into the edit folder. So you're going to see more unboxings. But anyways, Vince said, "Is this replacing the podcast?" Yes, Vince, it sure is.
Today.
Yep.
And probably a couple more weeks.
Sargon said it's a headpiece. Laura said 3D engraving equipment? Question mark?
Laura is just, she's in the know, you know.
Michael said you're getting. Michael from ET Latework said you're getting head.
I am getting head.
Oh man, your hands are all over it. Oh god.
This is the biggest scan head I've ever held in my entire life. Look at it. Oh my god.
You know what they say though?
Dude, go get a measuring tape. What the fuck? That's huge.
It's very, very, very big. There's no lenses for this. It's just, it is what it is.
I mean,
it's
you
like
have small, like Hobbit hands, so I can't.
It's not the biggest head you've had in your hands, though.
I don't know. I think it's heavier than
Galvo is definitely bigger.
I think the CO2 Galvo is more. No, it's not. It's literally not, dude. This is bigger by volume.
What? Oh, because you don't have the big expander, do you? You've got the smaller expander than me and Kyle. Kyle's in mine is the size of like a tissue box.
Yeah, this is bigger. That's what I'm saying. This is bigger.
Shit.
A normal scan head is like that big. So this is like twice as long, and it's like triple the weight.
Hold on. Let's measure it. Let's have a measuring contest. I'm going to measure mine.
Well, since Matt's measuring his, I don't have to worry about measuring mine.
Kyle and I
maybe the CO2 Galvo is just like a small bit more voluminous, but this is absolutely heavier.
So what you're trying to say is the length might be the same, but it's girthier.
Correct.
Okay.
No. The girth is the same. It's lengthier.
Oh, nice. Okay. That really helps you hit the spots that you need to get to when you're lasering.
Precise.
I would say there's probably more moving parts in the new head there.
Oh, that's definitely very technical.
Engraved Dreams says Matt and Kyle share a head. No, we don't share a head.
No,
we're twinsies. That's all.
Mine is.
I already hate this. Why is there a dial on the back? There's like a knob back here. I don't like it already.
Michael said I'm using my 3-inch ruler. That is not true. I had to go to a full 6.5 inches, which I feel like is pretty standard. But anyways, 6.5 by 7 1/4, and then the depth on it. God.
Cuban wants to know. Wait, is this for glass 3D stuff? So it kind of depends. They make these for UV lasers, right? They make 3D heads for UV lasers. But if you're talking about like what we do widgets sent me, Alex and Matt, where it's like engraved in the middle of a solid piece of crystal or glass,
I'm not that popular.
That's a green laser.
That's a lot of money.
3D laser is meant to do like varying focal depths, but still at the surface, if that makes sense.
That is the box. Yeah, maybe when we get to 1 million subs, companies will be sending me stuff like that, but not before. All right, here's the loot, guys. This is just like a horrifying pile of cabling that we'll have to go through at some point. There is an aviation connector, 2 sides there for something. We'll figure that out. They did not include instructions with this. Here is, let's see, what do we got in here?
Maybe they just wanted to watch you live stream bomb.
They're like, yeah. This is a Hengfu power supply, which is going to provide 15 volts at 5 amps. So that's definitely for scan head there. Here's the scan head right here. This is a custom proprietary, as they all are, 3D scan head. This is one that's made to Mactron specification, so it's not something that you're going to be able to buy off the shelf. We got a couple small bags up on top here. There's a USB stick, and I see some warranty stickers. Is this seriously? They just gave me the warranty stickers? They knew. They were like, hey, he's just going to destroy these anyway, so let's just give him the warranty stickers so he can put them on when he's done. I'm dead serious, dude. They're just like sitting, floating in the bag.
I mean, at least they no.
Yeah, they know at this point what I'm going to do with it.
They're like,
A
this
USB
guy's a
drive.
maniac.
I'm sure that's going to be important. And then there's some other labels in here. This one says digital power in. This one says focal length adjusting wheel, which I'm assuming has got to be this thing right here, so we can change our focal length on the fly, which is pretty cool.
That's slick.
Yeah, that's one of the things they were trying to explain to me about it, is that rather than like dealing with lenses or adjusting your focal length like in front of the galvo assembly, all of the focal length adjustment happens behind the galvo assembly.
That's what Rob from We Do Widgets is saying. The dial is probably the fine tune. Yep.
Which I simply don't understand. So we'll get to that when we get to that. And then this is probably the most important piece here, which is the laser marking controller. All of the 3D systems that I've ever seen have been made by two companies, Fieldtech or EasyCAD 3 with a Sino Galvo scan head. This marking controller comes to us from, what was it? Eastern Logic, I believe is the name of the company, who makes the Marking Mate software. It's called Marking Mate 3D. This is a completely separate system, different than just about everything that we've ever seen or talked about on the channel. Hopefully for their sake, it's a good thing. You can see it's another double layered board, much like an EasyCAD 3 board. We've got 2 layers of electronics in here, mounted by kind of a brass array, like we've seen in the past on EasyCAD 3 boards. But outside of that, the board is not incredibly familiar to me. We've got a whole big row of Phoenix connectors over here, and there's just like a lot of wiring that we're going to need to do. The nice thing is that I'm assuming, and I need to do more research, I'm assuming we aren't going to have to do any soldering with this, because the scan head and the board are like mated. They go together. So hopefully there's no soldering when we do this upgrade. It'll just kind of be like we're swapping the controller. The laser control interface should plug in here. And then the scan head's going to connect somehow to one of these many, many ports, probably multiple ports, just based on what I'm seeing in the bags over here. And that should be it. What I don't see that I'm looking for is some sign of what our wavelength is going to be here.
Real quick, can you hold that board back up like sideways, I guess? Like, because isn't a normal 2D board like just one piece, right? The 3D board, is it 2 pieces?
Yeah, like the EasyCAD 3 board. This board
it's like a daughter board sitting on top.
Okay.
Right,
all right.
precisely.
Yeah. That's where I was trying to look at it, kind of like to see that spacing. Yeah, don't break it.
No, I'm not. Oh my God. I don't break it.
Well, see, this is me. This is where Alex scares the crap out of me, because he's just like, yeah, I just took it apart. And I'm like, oh my God.
You do just take it apart. It's that simple.
All right.
It's just a copper array there. I think I said, did I say brass array earlier? It's copper array. So that's kind of what it looks like. Bunch of little pins sticking up that mate with the lower board.
And there's talking about mating.
Lower board
start
itself.
Round Tavor with the stretching out the legs with the new member.
I thought you finally measured your scan head.
Oh, nice. Signing up for the new memberships.
Yeah,
good time to talk about the Make Army, guys. It's the new kind of group of supporter platforms. People have been asking forever why the Laser Master Academy doesn't accept PayPal. And I don't have a good answer for them because it's out of my control and there's not really anything I can do about it. So while the Laser Master Academy isn't going anywhere, and that's still the only place that you can get the benefits that we offer over at the Laser Master Academy. So if you're looking for support or whatever else, that is still the place to go. We decided to just offer some extra options for people to support the channel. if they want to, because so many people say, you know, I don't have credit cards or whatever. That's really big in Europe. Is there any other way we can support you? Now the answer is yes. So Make Army, it's kind of encompassing the Patreon, the coffee, the Libera Pay, and what was the last one? YouTube memberships.
Yeah.
So all of those, you're getting nothing that you get from the LMA. Let's just be super plain about that right now. And it is priced substantially lower because of that. So there's a $3, $6, and $9 tier. They all come with the same benefits for the most part. We have more information on our website over at lasereverything.net/support.
I'm actually pulling that up to show you guys. Yeah.
But they have the Discord roles. So if you're on the Discord and you want a flashy Discord role, you get it there. You also get access to our new Matrix server. So if you don't know what Matrix is, it's kind of like a decentralized chat platform. And I have just been kind of logged in there, waiting for people to sign up. I'm going to use it as a place to talk about like the future of the channel, what kind of content we're making. So it won't really be laser centric. It'll be more like organization centric. So if you want to talk with me about my job and like the things that we can do to make resources easier to access for people, the Matrix server is going to be the place to chat about that. So you get that benefit, you get the Discord roles, and if there's a few other small things. So again, it's not the LMA. There's no courses, there's no support, none of that stuff. That's still only all available on the LMA. But if you want some bonus goodies and you want to support us on a different platform, then the Make Army is for you. Again, that's Patreon, Libera Pay, YouTube memberships, or coffee. We offer all of that stuff. So if you guys are interested in that, go check it out, because I'd love to hang out, especially over on the Matrix server. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And all of the platforms that I just listed have a members-only post where you can find access to the Matrix server. So it tells you exactly how to get signed up for Matrix and how to get logged into the server and all that good stuff. So if you have questions, reach out to me, but that's the long and short of it.
I was going to say too, if you haven't been to our website in a while, a couple of things. Number one, this will be one of the first things that you see when you log in. Besides the Laser Master Academy, Alex did some revamping, and it looks really cool. Like the colors, it's way cleaner, way less cluttered, because we had a like throughout the week, literally I wake up and there's emails that are just like flooded through to us. And what ends up happening is everybody usually asks us, hey, how do I find the resources? How do I find the settings? And so like, where's the buying guide? Yada, yada, yada. And so we've just tried to make it as easy to find as possible. Alex did a really good job making it nice and clean cut. And the other thing is, people asked us a whole bunch of times, hey, I really want to support you guys, but a lot of people internationally can't use some of the tools and things that other people can. And so I think this is a really nice way to help you help us. So thank you guys for asking.
The Make Army definitely, that's a good point. The Make Army definitely has an international target because those are the people that need these platforms that want to support us. But anybody's welcome, of course. So, I already see Laura, of course, jumped right on that immediately.
Ooh, Laura.
Absolutely had to do that the second she saw that was available. So thank you, Laura. Thank you, Sargon. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on the Matrix server. Let me know if you have an issue figuring it out.
Are you guys going to take the red pill or the blue pill? Okay.
Back to what we're discussing here. There is it's like an SoC under here. There's a lot of different chips. It's being run by something called a Spartan 6, which I've never heard of. I'm also looking for the board code because they have a bunch of different boards on the Marketing Mate website. Do you want to pull that? Does somebody have that up real quick? The Eastern Logic website, so we can kind of show what that looks like a little bit while I'm just kind of investigating.
Yeah, you sent that in
the chipset here. I think I put it in TMNT.
Yeah, okay.
But I'd love to just give people a visual on that so they know
I'm looking at it.
Kind of what we're dealing with here. I'm not, by the way, guys, I'm not going to be assembling this today. I think it is complex and new enough for our channel that it deserves like an actual edited video. So I am going to save this for an actual edit, so that I can kind of be more in control over how the information is delivered. I just think this calls for that. So we are going to take a closer look at this than we normally would during one of our unboxings.
Well, real quick, that website will not open for me or Kyle. So
you have to delete the S in the HTTPS.
Ah, okay.
And then hit enter again, and it'll load up. They have a bad SSL certificate.
Weird. Okay.
Just delete the S and then hit enter, and it should load up.
Yep. By the way, Laura is already taking command as the superior officer in the Make Army.
Nice.
Sargon said, Laura, you had to outdo me. And she said, is that any way to speak to your commanding officer? All right, here we go. Oh, my God. Now she's got power. Watch out, everybody. All right, let's see. So we got this right here. We're going to hit share. All right. Let's make this full screen. Okay, here we go. What do you want me to look at here?
I don't know. Just cruise around it. So there's a glimpse at the Marking Mate software there. It's not much of a glimpse. We'll have to take a closer look at it. I'm assuming it's going to be on this USB drive that I'm holding. So that's going to be a whole another thing that we have to explore. But it looks like laser marking software. So we're going to figure that out as we go.
It supports Windows XP.
It also supports Windows 10, which, to be fair, I think is the newest supported operating system I've ever seen on any of these websites.
Probably.
So that made me happy.
That's a pretty big span of time there.
Yeah, and obviously there's going to be 3D modeling involved in this, so that'll be a new topic that we talk about on the channel, which is less than exciting for me. I don't love 3D stuff, so that's kind of where my spatial recognition skills break down. So I'm going to be definitely learning some new skills with this.
Yeah, this is kind of cool here. It says that you can provide an object-related property table, so curves, arc, circle, rectangle, to kind of like create the shape. Because it's almost like if any of you have ever done like 3D printing, it's kind of like that. Like you basically have to give it an idea of the shape that it's looking at so it can do its job and then go from there.
Can you throw me up full screen for like a half a second, and then we're going to come back to this?
Absolutely can look like throw up. Hold on.
We're going to come right back to this. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Amazon sellers. Yeah, you, the people that are trying to send me bathtubs and weird automotive equipment and Santa costumes to review on the channel. Listen up. This message is for you. If you manufacture and market and sell on Amazon a 3D scanner, this is a perfect opportunity for you to send it to me, because I don't want a 3D model. I want to scan my stuff in. I will show it to all of our subscribers. It will be the best review you've ever seen. Hit me up. You can email me at contact@lasereverything.net. Let's talk. Let's figure it out. Get that 3D scanner over to me right now, and we'll go from there. Thanks.
Definitely didn't sound like you don't want to mess with that at all.
I don't want to mess with this at all.
All right. So anyways, we got the matrix properties. You got layering property tables, 3 user. Oh my God. An operator, programmer, administrator. This is pretty cool. So this is actually like for a workstation. Like you can actually have people who have certain privileges within the programming too. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. I'd really like to see what the DRM is like on this software too. That's another point of interest for me.
Mike C said his X tool sent you an F1 Ultra. Ooh, I don't know.
No, Matt really wants to ask them about that. They did not. They've been pretty good about contacting me about stuff lately, but then they kind of dropped off again. So we haven't really had time to chase them down about it.
We got lots of boxes.
We're totally open to taking a look at that. I've had the portable fibers just came in from SFX and Binyan. So
yep.
By Laser. Should just call them By Laser because that's what they write on everything.
I was really impressed by both of those, by the way. Those are really cool.
Yeah, they were both really nice in very different ways. So if you haven't seen those, that was like the last 2 live streams that we did. We unboxed some really cool portable lasers. Now we have this. So we've got the 3D kit we have to put on the Mactron. We have all the old stuff that we still have to do. I still want to build the test bench. I need to ask Steven.
Oh.
I literally don't remember what wavelength this is for.
Look
And
at
it
this.
matters.
Rob says he has a 3D scanner that he wants to try. Oh, he's right there by you.
Well, you can pop on over, Rob, and shoot it at whatever you want once I get
Heck
this
yeah.
set up.
This says that it can control any type of laser. I don't know if there's a special one each head does, but it says.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. So the mirrors in the scan head are only going to reflect one kind of laser. So if this is like a fiber laser scan head and we shoot a UV laser at it, it's going to damage the mirrors. I think this is more referring to the software and the marking controller.
It is, for sure.
Rather than, so like we don't need, like with EasyCAD, you need like a digital board for UV and CO2, but you need an analog board for fiber. I'm assuming this outputs for both, which is nice. That's very nice, but it doesn't let me know which this scan head was actually manufactured for. So that's going to change how we end up using this. If it's a fiber scan head, it'll probably end up going on the test bench. We'll probably end up working this into the test bench somehow. If it's a UV, then it's going to go on the UV. So
all right, we got back on you, by the way.
Oh, great. Hi. So that's kind of the loose plan at the moment, but it's midnight in China or whatever. They're all sleeping, 3 a.m. So I'll have to wait until tonight to ask and get an answer on that.
Mike C has a question for you. So he said, were you able to find the source of the controller/software for the handhelds that you got before?
Not yet. I've started those conversations, but I haven't ended them. So I haven't gotten the answer that I'm searching for yet, but that is something that I'm not going to let go of. We're absolutely going to continue to pursue that until I find out more information. But I'm glad that you're asking because I'm really curious too. So that's not something that's just going to fall off into the background. That's important to me. So we're going to figure that out.
All right, let's take it off of you. We'll kind of come back to all of us here.
Yeah,
got this guy right here. There you go.
Because we're not actually doing this mod today. Again, like I was telling you guys,
your audio cut out.
Yep, audio's taking a poop. Mm-hmm. By the way, if you guys have questions, feel free because now is our Q&A session that we normally have at 9 o'clock. So if there's anything that you're working on, you're back. Or if you got anything to celebrate, like Bronson, man. I think he said he was going for like a run or something, but I'm so excited. He got 2,000 cup order, dude. That's insane.
Yeah, I was just going to say before I cut out, because we're not actually assembling this mod today, because I want to do like a real video that shows the process, and I want to be a little more in control of how that information is delivered because it is a little bit complicated. The rest of our time today, we're just here to hang out with you guys. I know Matt has had a lot of going on, so he has some stuff to share. Kyle's been marking some new materials, and I'm looking forward to hearing about that. And then, of course, if you guys have any questions that you want to ask in chat, we're here for Q&A, whether it's about this stuff on the table here, the stuff that we've unboxed recently, stuff that we're going to be doing in the future, whatever. We're here for it. We are how in are we right now? We are
30 minutes.
30 minutes. Yeah, so we got plenty of time, guys, to hang out and chill, which is good. I've had a lot of guests lately, and I've missed just kind of hanging out with you guys. So we are here. So let's do it.
I want to talk about, hold on one second. I feel like I haven't had a chance to share the exciting news about this. I mean, I feel like, I guess, a couple of minutes, but I was going to share about the, the Epson SureColor F170 dye sublimation printer that I got. I talked about it a little bit, but basically, I think this is the coolest thing I've had in my shop in so long. And maybe it's just because it's new, but also because the fact that I can do color on Mother's Day, like I literally gave my mom and my mother-in-law the coasters that I made for them, and they both were like in tears almost. And I was just like, and they were like, this is just the cutest thing ever. And I was really blown away. So I know Laura does sublimation, but if anybody else does sublimation out there, feel free to chime in about this. So real quick, and by the way, ask questions. I think we just got one, but I wanted to share this with you guys real quick. So get a couple of minutes for questions in here. So yeah, long story short, the Epson F170, really cool opportunity for you to grab one. If you look online, the F170 is an actual sublimation printer that's made for doing this. And basically what ends up happening is by buying it here, it's the same price if you bought it on Amazon. But here you get $100 given to you, like in Johnson Plastics plus dollars. So long story short, you're saving $100 or getting like a gift card to their store. Also, for $50 more, there's the starter bundle. They actually sent me the crafting bundle, which is the most expensive one, but it comes with a 2-hour remote installation. In case you're not great at this, people literally help you, and you get ongoing remote support. So if you've ever had issues with print heads or anything like that, or you have questions about why prints are bad, they'll literally walk you through step by step how to do these kinds of things, which they offered me, but I was able to figure it out. Like, it's really simple to get going. And that's the second video that I made that's also in the chamber for editing. And so long story short, I did get this hot pink. So this is spoiler alert. I have this huge bright pink heat press in my shop. But I'm really excited for it. Huh?
Splash of color.
Oh, dude, Evelyn was so excited. She was like, Daddy, did you pick this color? And I was like, yeah, I did, just for you. But anyways, I went with this one
like
because I wanted to show you guys.
It looks like a printer that was manufactured by Polaroid with the stripes and shit.
What's really nice about it is it's exactly like what you're used to getting like in an eco tank. And so the one big thing about sublimation that I've learned over time, and it stopped me from doing it, was like certain companies, and I'm not knocking Sawgrass or Brother or any of the other ones, but they have the cartridges, and they're super, super expensive to replace. This stuff is like for $100, you replace like all the inks. So just saying, like, it's really cheap.
Nobody likes cartridges. Cartridges are so 2005.
Yeah, and also it's a whole thing. Oh yeah, there's people talking about it in here. So I definitely have something to learn. Like Sargon is saying, make sure you print a page a day so the heads don't dry out. The good news is this one, the F170, actually has like a cycling thing that it does to keep the heads from getting messed up. Yeah. Obviously you should keep printing though. Like, like today I printed this guy. See, ta-da! And by the way, if you're like, why is that kind of look washed out and what's that about? I explained that in the next video I'm making, which basically the first video I did was an unboxing of all this stuff. The second one is me doing my first sublimation success and helping you guys learn how to put that thing together. But I'm telling you, if you haven't thought about it yet, you have 4th of July coming up where patches for hats. A lot of people are doing these patches for hats, and you can get sublimatable hat patches. You can also get the white faux leather and sublimate on that. There's a few different ways you can like do this to really make some easy money. And it takes up 2 feet by 18 inches over here. And my heat press takes up, I think, like it's a 9 by 12, so it's a very small one, but I think it takes up like 18 inches total by like 12 inches. So for such a small footprint, to be able to add the versatility of it to your shop, I really think you're going to get your money's worth out of it. And basically as low as $450 or up to $800. And there's other ways you could go about this. Like you could get a bigger, different heat press. There's all kinds of ways you could go about it. But I don't know. I'm really excited for it. Hopefully you guys want to know more about it or care about it because it's coming either way. Like
you've really poisoned the water too, because Miranda wants
I know
for here now. So
yeah.
Thanks for that.
Well, but I told you though, and I got the shirt inside. This is where we're looking at products for like return on investment stuff. So to me, I buy this laser behind me was like almost $7,000. This one was, or no, that was more than 7,000. This one was 7,000. This one was 5,000. Those, you can make products that have a good ROI, but it still takes a while to pay down $5,000. That thing is $1,000. A piece of paper costs a dime or less, and then the ink costs a dime or less. And so for a quarter plus your blank, you're making money. And so I bought a $3 shirt and I put ready to crush 3rd grade on it. And I know I could sell that for $15 to $20 all day long, like all day. And it took no time and it was super easy. And so if we're talking about versatility, by the way, JP Plus also sent me some acrylic that you can sublimate on. So I can literally take pictures, and now we can make some really cool custom like Christmas ornaments and all kinds of stuff. So Christmas in July video, going to have some neat stuff to share with you guys.
I'm looking forward to being convinced by your content because I'm not convinced yet. I just broke on 3D lasers. It's going to take a lot to break me on ink. I don't like ink, dude. I don't like ink. I don't like printers. If you've been watching the channel for more than 5 minutes, you know how much I hate.
Have you guys ever seen the movie Hackers?
Yeah.
Everybody see that.
Alex, like embodiment of hard copy.
I think Bronson's the only one who hasn't seen Hackers.
He'd be like, Hackers, what's that? Who's Angelina Jolie? Isn't she a grandma? Anyways, Ed C says it's the same printer they use for home and office. The heads don't dry out as easy. It's true. So this is the FC-170 is like a modified eco tank. And if you guys don't know about it, the difference is basically, and I'm still reading about it. Like I sit here and I read, and Alex is like, shut the hell up about this stuff. But literally, it's the way it heats up ink and holds on to it. That basically makes it a little different, and the ink is different. And then what kind of acrylics can be sublimated? So the best ones that I've tried so far, they literally have acrylic that they put a coating on, sublimatable coating on, and you can actually print it, like heat press it from the back. And I literally am going to be working on that this weekend. Like I already told Alex, I've got a sheet with a shot list of all the things I want to make. And so long story short, you can heat press it from the back and it's ready to go. Like you've already got it and you can laser cut it. So you can either cut the circles out, and just make some really standard ones. Or you could do stuff like if, for example, Kyle just got his dog, we could go in to Photoshop, take the head of the dog and cut around it and literally do a cut.
Kyle just got his dog. You're bored at home. You need to make some money. You sublimate the dog. Bing, bang, boom.
What we're going to do is we're going to take the dog, we're going to cut its head off, okay? We're going to just do it with the laser. But we go into, so literally you can do that kind of stuff. And I'm really excited. There's white acrylic that really looks nice. There's basically clear acrylic, but what you do, apparently you have to put white vinyl behind it. So I'm going to learn about that too. And so there's also, it doesn't have to be white vinyl. It just has to be something that's adhesive and white on the back so that it gives contrast and clear acrylic. So you could buy standard 1/8 acrylic, hit it with the sublimation, and then just have some type of adhered white backing to it, and it's going to look amazing. And so again, a sheet of like cardstock with adhesive, or honestly, I'm thinking of there's a couple of brands. I'm wondering if I can figure out a way to do that, or they might even have more. Johnson Plus might even have more stuff on there to use. So long story short, really easy. And what's cool is like there's really expensive blanks. Like they sent me some really neat stuff. I'm going to shut up because I've talked for 6 minutes about this, but it's really, really exciting. Oh my God. Oh, okay. Kyle's there. So yeah, let's see what else we got. I'm doing a bunch of customized stoles for graduation season. Oh dude, that's cool. Let's see. Let me look back up here because I've been talking so long. All right. So Fredwick says, I'm excited for tomorrow. Should receive a 100-watt CO2 gantry for a 60-watt MOPA fiber from Haoshin. Nice. The 60-watt MOPA and the 100-watt CO2 gantry. I thought he said Galvo for a second. I was like, holy shit.
2 lasers on one day. You're going to literally have your hands full. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Beam It Up says, hey guys, sorry I'm missing all this. Driving through the backwoods of Illinois. The banjo music is so loud.
The backwoods is cool. Just don't fall into the back rooms while doing it.
Yep, that's true. Let's see. Laura said, sawgrass is ridiculously expensive. Talking about those little cartridges. So just so you know, this is what it looks like. I ran out of black actually already, so they're gone. But these little guys right here, these little guys, they were like, they're $40 a bottle to get one that's full all the way to the top. And so there you go. Little color action going on for you. Oh, there we go. So these at 300 milliliters are $40, which comes out to like 14 cents or like 13.4 repeating cents for a bottle of this. Like every milliliter costs 13 cents. And you get a whole bunch of prints off of it. And you can also see, like, I filled this thing up to the top and there's still like half of a bottle left. So, I mean, you're going to get more than one use. And as long as you store it, like I've got it in a nice, like little shaded box over here that's in an air conditioned space, it basically says that it'll last for a long, long time. So yeah, just saying, that's way cheaper than Sawgrass's little things. I think they're like 200 and something, so it's almost double the cost for half of the prints. So let's see. Vince says, I've gone months without printing and no clogs. Good ink doesn't clog. Yeah, and that's the Epson brand is that much. I'm sure there are different kinds, but we'll see. Cosmo Ink. See, people care about this. I'm excited to see that people know about this because, like, the fact that we have community that I can actually be like, hey, expert person.
Yeah.
Let's see. If you get into sublimation, be ready to use your existing exhaust. Yes, it is non-VOC, but it does have an odor. I did actually. So my first couple of presses, I didn't have any issues. The second time, I was like, ooh, yeah, I could see why you'd want to have like a window open or a fan or just
air
run.
movement.
Like I could run that hose across.
Air movement.
Yeah, it does create gas. So if you guys don't know how sublimation works, if you're somebody who is here and doesn't know, the ink gets printed onto paper. And so this is the medium of transference, basically. And when you press this down and apply heat, it actually gasifies the ink, and it adheres to and becomes a part of the next substrate. So if it has the properties to maintain that color, to maintain and retain that color. So like that's why you have to use polyester that's 65% or higher on shirts and stuff to really get adherence and have that come through. Also, you can mess up all kinds of stuff because the gas comes out, like the colors. It's called blowout. So you have to have blowout paper and all kinds of stuff. So again, I'll have all that stuff in a video. But there's a lot of stuff to know for sure and learn. I don't want to make this like the sublimation podcast.
No, it's okay. Johnson Plastics is getting their money's worth this episode.
But it's really cool though, isn't it? All right, let's see. Doing customized stoles. I didn't think about that. Wow. Bronson said, I've seen Hackers. My grandpa and I watched it together.
Yeah, that hurts.
I'm not old. You're old.
Best YouTuber had another question about cloud ray lasers, which I thought Kyle would be in a position to answer.
I started a bunch up there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Go for it. Go nuts.
So, there it is. So, best YouTuber says, hey, all new to fiber, order a cloud ray. It's a QS50 upgrade board. Got it for $4,000 instead of $6,000. Is it a good laser? Good price? Will I love it as a first fiber? Rakis, I think. And also said, what I want to do is 3D and 2.5D rocks, metal reliefs. Not necessarily super deep, more like 3D but reliefs. So there's a lot to unpack on that. It's still in our review process, right? We're still testing it. We put stuff through the ringer when we test it. But you did see the teardown. You did see my first look already. Do I think it's a good laser? So far, I don't have a reason to think it's not. The new series of stuff that they're putting out has been good for me at least. And the people that I've talked to in the community that also have the newer series, the Pro series of stuff, has had no problems with it so far. And the problems they have had have been normal stuff that could go through customer service with a quick warranty replacement. Something either got damaged in shipping or your typical 1 in 1,000 failure rate where a power supply died in shipping because it took a bump at just the right angle or whatever. But that said, so far I think it's great. I think it will be competitive with the other lasers that we've reviewed so far on the channel. That said, if you're looking at 3D and 2.5D, like what you said here, you're going to be limited to doing grayscale height maps. It comes with a non-motorized tower, and it's a 2D board. So that's your option basically.
That's specifically the GS50 is a non-3D laser.
QS50. So QS50 comes with a Rakis 50 watt. It's a manual tower, and it comes with the full EasyCAD board.
Yeah, I mean, that sounded somber, but like the grayscale height map, like 3D relief engraving, is freaking awesome. I mean, it works really well. So
that's why it's a mixed bag, right? So if that's what you want to get into, that's great, and I'm all for it. And we did do kind of a brief video back in October I think it was. Sorry, fruit fly. Back in October, where we did go over basically the process for taking like an STL file, a 3D file, or an object file, and turning that into a grayscale height map using freely available tools. And you can use those in Lightburn to have it slice those by color and turn those into layers. So depending on the time you want to invest and the effort you want to invest, you can get pretty cool 2.5D-ish engraving or 3D engraving results. Just know that you're not going to get real-time focusing that you will get out of a 3D laser. Like what Alex has unboxed today actually has a live focusing element in it. So if you're good with that, then I think it will be fine with what you want to do. I have done some depth map engraving with the 50 watt, and it's done fine. I've done really cool stuff on slate and steel, and no problems with that.
You guys see Wojo's comment? I told a girl once she would look good in 3D. That's my apartment number. It's pretty funny. But yeah, best YouTuber said, I'm scared, in a comment just below that. You don't need to be scared. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
We talked a lot of shit about CloudRay in the past because there was a lot of shit to talk. And that shit talking inspired some changes, and we're feeling better now. So it's just because you saw something. Yeah, the time scale is it feels weird because you just watched a video yesterday, maybe, where we are like, CloudRay's the worst, don't ever buy them. But in reality, that was like literal years ago at this point. So it's, things change, companies evolve, and some pivot and get better when their stuff is called out and some don't. And in this case, CloudRay seems like they have. Kyle's been really pleased with what he's had so far.
It's a really good video. The newest one is really solid.
So I wouldn't be scared, man. I'd say you're probably in a good place. I also really quick, I just want to give him a second to respond. Who was it? Engraved Dreams said, also, any plans for more on-site engraving videos? Do you mean engraving videos like where we're engraving stuff here in the shop on-site, or do you mean on-site engraving videos like videos about the portable lasers that we just unboxed?
Like lasers
to go. About like lasers to go, and also
or
like
lasers to go. Yeah. So let's talk about that really quick.
I'm very excited that you asked about that. For the past 8 months, so I received the laser a year ago, and then for 3 or 4 months we were moving and grooving through that. Okay, we're filming as we go. We made the high ROI product video that has 23,000 views. I think when I saw this morning, actually just randomly popped up. I was
it's one of our more popular series right now.
Yeah. And so what's frustrating though is I've been trying to get, I could have gone out, and it's on my dime, by the way. So it's one of those things where if I want to do this, I got to go buy all kinds of stuff. And the other thing is I have to have the time to do it. So that's the thing that working here, it's really cool because the laser was shot over to me, but that's not all you need. So I've been trying to secure a power supply because the majority of markets that you go to do not supply you power. I found a market that's local to me that you can actually, for $30 more, you can get a site that has power supply, but then you also have to wait a long time because it's a very popular market. So that's one of the things that I've already written down notes for, going to the markets that are closest to you, finding out about going and actually doing real research about talking to the people who are running them and their expectations. And every one of these places has literally a list of things that you have to do and have. And some of them don't care what you do or have. So what Alex is holding up right now is basically a portable lithium power supply. And that's a Jackery unit. And so we contacted Jackery. We contacted a few other places trying to see if they would sponsor a video. And we actually are talking to a company right now, and it's not finalized, so I'm not going to say the name of them yet because, whatever. But our thought was if we had 1,000 watt or a 1,500 watt, because is that a 600 you've got right there?
I don't know, but it was doing it.
I think that's a 600.
I'm like just not seeing it for some reason. 241 watt hour. So,
long story short, what was happening is what that came down to was us trying to get a power supply that was at least, I think we figured out we needed at least a 600 because most places start at 8 o'clock to 9 in the morning and run here in Florida till 2 in the afternoon because it gets so damn hot. The tarmac, like when you're on a blacktop, it gets up to over 107 degrees while you're sitting there. So we needed to make sure that we get something that can survive and also run for 6 to 7 hours. So that's it. Yep. Mike C said you should hit up Anchor. We tried. Didn't hear anything back from
when
him.
you were doing those draw tests on the lasers, what was like the average?
For the
to put it in perspective, the comm marker I sent Matt, that's a 20 watt fiber laser with a motorized Z. That was drawing, I think it was 116 watts at 1.16 amps or something like that.
So this would run you 2 hours at max continuous power.
Right. Yeah.
You get 2 hours off of this. That's not that bad.
If he doesn't have to charge a laptop.
So, and that's
the second you plug a extension cord into this,
exactly.
or like a surge protector, that number goes out the window.
And so that's exactly what Kyle and I were figuring out. So Kyle literally has a spreadsheet where we figured out, okay, what would be our optimal setup that we want to take with this and the cost of all the items and everything. Because we're doing like a whole breakdown was our plan. Like, let's say like what if you could like walk in there posh with a little fan blowing on you, like sit in your chair, like waiting for people to come up and talk to you. Or, you know, what's the one where it's bare bones? You could limp in and limp out at the end of the day. So that's one of the things we're trying to look at is price, cost, and all the items in it.
And you can limp biscuit while you're there. My way or the highway.
One of the
that was funny.
That was so stupid. Anyways,
really good one.
Like a 3. So go ahead, Kyle.
I was going to say one of the things me and Matt will be doing, because I have a power tester for all that, but I'm going to be going through all the machines in my shop. And as part of that Lasers to Go series, me and Matt are going to do like a little assessment of what each machine draws, the amperage it draws, and then that way it kind of gives you a guideline of if you get a similar machine, because we obviously can't test every machine in the world. But from the sample size that is available, we can give kind of an idea of what type of power you may need and estimate, you know, what kind of power requirements you'll have for the type of shows you're going to.
If you guys haven't seen this little guy, by the way, go watch. This is what you need, Matt. You need this. This has a literal battery built in to this. And so I can literally just, without plugging it into anything, I can just push the power button. Oh my God, it's so loud. And turn it on. But I'm not even going to go into it, Matt, because it's your thing. I'm just saying, if you haven't watched the episode where we uncrate this, go watch it because it's really cool.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say is that's actually really cool too, because the company that we're talking to now, they have a solar generator option. And so basically it's a battery power that has energy trickles in through a solar panel. And so that's one of the things that we're trying to see, because in Florida, I'm telling you, like, if anybody's from Florida, you know, and if you're not and you've been here, then you know, but like it's 107 degrees for 8 hours because you're there.
You know.
Yeah, and if you don't, well, then you'll die if you come down here, because like literally Alex said he would melt.
Engraved Dreams is asking what this is. This is the BY-50GS. It's a 50 watt custom Mac source with a custom touchscreen interface and optional hand marking or tower marking configurations. And the whole thing is light enough that you can just pick it up and walk away with it.
I think it was 11 to 13 kilos, which is like 25 pounds.
It's really a nice unit. We have another one from SFX that I boxed back up because the box is actually a really nice container for it. So I can't just go grab it at the moment, but it's sitting right over there. I liked it equally, but it's definitely for like handheld marking cases rather than like this one has more of like a stationary option to it. Yeah. And then of course you have like the traditional portable units like the comm marker that Matt is talking about. They have a great video on that too, why we chose the comm marker. That one's got a couple tens of thousands of views on it too. So there's a lot of good options out there, and there's just more coming. Things have definitely been getting smaller.
And so that's kind of the focus of the video too, is like Alex is saying, and also what all of the questions and things that Engraved Dreams just said. So this right here, I picked up a silent generator from Costco for 400, a little less than 400. I'm hoping its 1600 watt power supply can run a diode, fan, and small additional electric or two. That's what we're shooting for, is the 400 to 500, because we're trying to keep it like at $1,000 entry point, because I feel like that's where most of us are. Like my company, my small business that I have, $1,000 to me. I don't want to use the word play with, but I feel like I can invest $1,000 and I'm not dying, but I could get that money back, you know? And Ed said, I forgot what the question was. The question is there going to be more information about like going and doing on-site engraving to like festivals and fairs and pop-ups? The other one was maybe have a nice ship floor on machines to help combat the heat and a nice gazebo cover for the shade. So that's actually one of the things I was going to talk about in the video too. I went to 3 different markets and talked to the people who run them. Some people won't allow certain things that create noise past a certain decibel because they want to keep the atmosphere of the market a certain, level. Some people, you have to have a certain kind of tint, so you can't have a gazebo tint. You can only have you have to have one with covers all the way around. And then there's some that you can't have, they don't want you to have any covers on the sides and stuff like that.
It would be undeniably simpler to, just since we're on the topic, like I know that everybody always jumps to the generator, but then you have to bring gas and you have to worry about like emissions, and it's like this whole other thing. It's so much easier to just get a power station and just bring the power station and turn it on.
Yeah.
Here's
no
the
noise.
other one.
Yep.
By the way, guys,
Yeah,
so this one does not have the tower and base to it. It does stand on its own, so you can use it this way to mark mobily. But it, as you can see, is much more like meant to be used as a gun for like marking things on location. And again, we get all into that during the kind of unboxing experience, during the unboxing while we're, this one's so much quieter. I don't know why that other one's so loud, dude. This one is like a whisper.
Heat. Yeah.
Yeah, this one's like whisper quiet.
I think I remember reading in the literature, the one that you have right there in front of you had like heat sinks or something off to the sides or back of it. And
Dude, the internal construction of both of these units was virtually identical, including the sources. This one was just a little bit smaller.
Well, and that's where like issues like fans. So going back to like the fans on this machine, holy shit, it sounds like a Chinook is taking off.
It's meant to be an industrial machine.
Yeah, and so you can get quiet like fans that are more quiet, but it's going to cost more, and so it's one of those things where they, I guess, to keep cost and all that stuff down. So, anyways, that's it. I mean, I know I keep talking about the lasers to go thing, but like we really want to make it to show you guys and actually educate you, because if you think that you can go to a market and just be like, I'm going to do it this way, I can show you the website. Like I've actually got B-roll footage of the website. That I really want to go be a part of their market, because it's a huge market and there's college kids there and they have discretionary funds, but long story short, their list of like rules and expectations are so long. It's like, I kind of don't want to go be a part of it just because of all of that. So anyways, Resin Dragon Studios. Hello.
Hey, what's up? But yeah, I just pulled this one out because I wanted to show you guys, like, if you had a little table at a booth, you could get away with a setup like this as well. It's not as convenient as the tower and the platform on the other one that we just looked at, but this one does come with some laser
protection,
shielding, which is nice. You can easily close off these 2 smaller windows or pump exhaust through it if needed, and then you can just sit in front of it. Everything happens on this touch interface right here. Though this one has enough IOs to actually use a keyboard and mouse if you wanted to do that. The other one only has 1 USB port. Since I was, one of the things I was saying when we were unboxing the Bi Laser, after I had already opened this one, was like, there are parts of both of these I wish I could just combine into one unit to make kind of like the ultimate mobile laser engraving station. And neither of these are it, but they're certainly geared towards whatever it is they were meant to be used for. Again, this one's more like a handheld marking situation, whereas that one, I feel like while it is geared towards handheld marking, is much more convenient to take around as a portable laser. So anyway, I just trying to give you guys a visual on both of those. I'll go ahead and turn this off and get it out of the way now, though.
There you go. Kyle, I saw you start a bunch of stuff. You want to hit it?
You're a star.
Hey-o.
You're breathtaking.
Huh?
It's Keanu Reeves. You're breathtaking.
True.
He's an idiot.
Ed was saying, have you seen the new X-Tool F1 Ultra 20 watt fiber, 20 watt diode? We have. We were just talking about that earlier. I don't remember who asked above, but somebody in the chat asked above if we were going to be taking a look at that. And the long story short was they didn't reach out to us yet about it. But if
we're right here, X-Tool,
arises,
you know where to find us.
Yeah, if the opportunity arises, I'm pretty sure all three of us were pretty excited to take a look at that.
It would be a great, from what I've seen, just to go back to what we were talking about, I think that'd be a great tool to take with you for what Kyle and I were just talking about.
Keep in mind, it's roughly about double the weight of the original X-Tool F1, but it's still lighter than a traditional split fiber.
I can hold the X-Tool F1 over my head with 4 fingers. So I feel like if it's twice the weight of that, that just means I need to use a second hand to hold it over my head.
It was 20 pounds. It was 22 pounds heavier, by the way. It was 10 kilos heavier than the original one.
Yeah. I got to say, man, like X-Tool is probably my biggest turnaround since starting the channel. Because I was so suspicious and skeptical when they started coming out with their machines. I was like, there's no way these are like that good. They're way too expensive. This is all marketing. And then everything I've thrown at these machines since I've started actually using them has just surpassed my expectations. So I would love to take a look at that. They're probably mad that while we've included the X-Tool F1 in a ton of our content, we haven't published a formal review of it yet, which would obviously be positive. But that's probably why they didn't send one, because we didn't do the quick, I've owned this for 20 minutes, here's a review, which is kind of a bummer. But, you know, what are you going to do?
Yeah. I mean, in fairness, I'm pretty surprised with kind of the progression of how their machines have gone. Yeah, Cloud Ray's done a lot too. I want how to step away. Yes. So if you were going to go 3D with anything, especially now that you've already purchased the laser, the cost of upgrade would be a significant portion of what you paid already.
It'd be substantial.
Usually if you're going to go 3D, you just buy it from the manufacturer that way. Mm-hmm. That way you don't have to worry about swapping out power supplies, running additional power wiring, swapping out hardware, because if you go 3D, generally you need to swap out the head to get a 3D focusing head, because they're not the same as a standard fiber head. Number two, a lot of 3D machines also utilize a powered Z that is controlled by the controller, not just push button up and down. Speaking generally, a 2.5D machine would be a Z tower without a 3D head, but that still uses a 3D controller. Generally, the cost of the 3D controller, you're talking at least probably $1,500, and then the cost of the 3D scan head is a substantial amount. The cost of a powered Z tower is pretty minimal, but you still have to do everything else and wire it all together. So
yeah, I was gonna say you have to wait for shipping. You've got to do all the
just this alone, without a controller to control it or a laser to use it with.
Yeah,
just this is like $1,500 at least.
So ballparking the average cost of doing the upgrade yourself, not including your own labor and time, you're probably talking $2,500 on the low end and probably $5,000.
Dude, at least 3, because the controller too, like EasyCAD 3 boards, $1,500 right now, the cheap ones. And then something like this,
licensing,
like the custom board, so much more expensive, dude. Yeah, it's substantial.
I see 2 real quick that I was going to comment on. Best YouTuber also said, I wonder whether I should have pre-ordered the F1 Ultra instead of the QS 50 watt. I
They're
would say, yeah,
very
they're
different classes of machines.
I was gonna say, to me, you got a working tool. Like you literally got like an industrial grade machine that you can use to do all kinds of stuff. So for speed, power, and you lose a little bit of versatility, but what you get is a lot more operability. You know, like the operation, the ability to like do what you need to do and get it done quickly and efficiently. Also, you're gonna learn about light burn, which is gonna be super useful to you understanding how the machine actually works best versus X Tool, which literally, as I was thinking it down here, Resin said, I love X Tool, but I wish they would stop pushing the proprietary software and play nicer with Lightburn. So that's another thing too. Designing work, doing pictures and stuff like that with there's just so much more capability, I guess.
And XCS, the X Tool Creative Suite, has come leaps and bounds ahead of where it was when I reviewed it with the X Tool F1. It's night and day, a completely different piece of software that does 10,000 more things, and it still can't do 90,000 things that Lightburn can do. So as great as it is, and as much work as I have been putting into it lately, and I can appreciate that, just the limitations of consumer software, the second that you get your hands on commercial software like Lightburn, you're going to be like, how did I ever use this? It's much better that you learn what a galvo laser should be capable of on the commercial software first. That way, when you use the consumer software in, like, let's say a trade show environment or like a market environment, you understand better what limitations you have applied to you.
You're also going to offer
kind of
that.
System.
Yeah, you're going to offer that lesser thing there. You're not going to do like something that's like, all right, let me do a height map engraving for you, where I have to take a picture of you, take that image, run it through. That's an at-home job that you can say, hey, pay for it now, and I'll process that later. Like, yeah. but you can't do it without the tools and the software. And the other thing I was going to say is I think I've seen you say like 2 or 3 times you want to cancel this within the past 15 minutes, or like don't second guess yourself. Don't do analysis paralysis. It's 2 different tools. You chose one that does really well with certain things. My best suggestion would be figure out what you're going to make with those things instead of focusing on what you can't do and what this does. And just look at what you've already purchased, because the 50 watt behind me right here has paid itself off probably 4 times over. Just saying. So if you're buying it for money and for a career or something like that, where you're trying to make like an actual go of it, you got a great tool. If you're trying to just do something for funsies, then you could get you could go the other way, and you could still make money with it. It'd still be profitable. But again, you got a really good tool versus a machine that can kind of do, I don't know.
The other factor is, if you want to get started now and actually start getting projects done and maybe start your business off generating money, the F1 Ultra is on pre-order right now. I don't remember them seeing like an official ship date, or if they're just accepting pre-orders and shipping them out as they get them produced, or I don't know how that's working. I haven't read into that at all. But the other end of that is, just know that if you order that, you're starting in a negative, and you'll be on a negative until that comes. So if you're buying it on credit or doing some kind of payment plan, you're going to be paying for it long before you have the machine.
Yeah. And so I will say too, another thing that would be really useful for learning, because this is where Ed C had even said X Tool works with Lightburn. So by getting the one that you've got now and learning Lightburn, you'll be able to learn the basics that you need to work with a variety of tools in the Galvo family. And that's where like you're going to have really solid fundamentals and understand LPI and understand focal distance and understand how to use the X Tools infrared 20 watt better, because you've already gotten the skills and knowledge that you've taken with the 50 watt. So
fundamentals, and this is like, I feel like half the people that watch our content hate me for this, but fundamentals in this business are everything. Because when the people that buy the consumer grade stuff, and there's nothing wrong with the consumer grade stuff, it has its place, it has a job to do. And it even in like a shop like mine, like I need these little machines to do something very specific. The problem with it is that it makes it so easy for you to use that once you want to take even a half step outside of the box and try to bend the rules a little bit to do something creative and unique, everything else breaks down around you because you don't understand how the machines work. Our entire channel at Laser Everything is based on teaching you the fundamentals. That's what we do, is teach you how this shit works, so that once you know the rules of the game, you know how you can break them. You know, it's really, really important. I can't say enough about that.
And to give you an example of like how we did that live for people, by using the settings that I got from the parameter library ages ago, Laura actually was saying how she was struggling to engrave one of these guys. And it's literally just, I bought them because I saw her link them on her Facebook group, which she has, Laser of Love Creations Facebook group. If you haven't joined it, go give her a follow. She always has, because she posted this and immediately I went and bought it because I was like, ooh, that's so cute. Like I don't think of cute things. I'm not good at that. And so she had, this is for either putting a stamp on it, or you could laser engrave it a little bit with like maybe the UV or the fiber. And it's for putting jewelry in it, right? So long story short, she said, I'm having a hell of a time finding the settings to hit this with a fiber laser. Could you guys help me? And I literally grabbed it from my pouch. And because I know how frequency works, I know how power works and speed, we were able to find a setting, I think, within like under a few minutes. I mean, just zapping it, you know? And so she was like, oh, great. And then we also figured out that fiber probably wasn't the best tool to do it. You could, but it'd still be really kind of melty. So anyways, that's where that comes in handy, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like understanding those fundamentals alone, you start to understand material stuff and like what does focus do and how does it work and all that kind of stuff. So just really important stuff.
Yeah,
that's
a good point too, dude. In this job, people think that they're mastering lasers, but they're not. What they're actually trying to master is like material science
application.
It's a huge thing with just an infinite amount to know.
Ed asked above for an example of what a 3D or 2.5D laser is or is used for ideally. So I have an example. This is a curved surface. So normally what we would do on a 2D laser, a standard like a fiber laser without specialized 3D equipment,
clearly
we would use project mark. What was that, Alex?
I said that tumbler's flat.
It's not flat. So normally what you would do with a standard laser is you would use project mark or cylinder correction in Lightburn to distort the image around the curve using the equation that's within Lightburn to calculate for correcting around the curve. And you would focus part of the way down. So if my engraving ends here and my engraving is starting up here, I'm focusing about here to give myself the focal range with the lens I have, which generally with a fiber would be like a 300, to give you a long enough distance of focus to wrap around that curve that you can see from the front. Well, you can't always do that. Sometimes you need a smaller lens. Sometimes you need a smaller dot size. Or sometimes you have a complex shape that has multiple waves in it. So what if you're working with a piece of sheet metal that has like an S wave to it? At the end of the day, you ideally want something that can maintain the same dot size within a margin to get a similar result by refocusing to the material height as it goes through the mark. And that is what 3D and 2.5D kind of give you the power to do. In a nutshell, we kind of work around those rules with 2D lasers, or more specifically, without using the general market terms, a laser that doesn't have Z control built into the controller to do stuff like this, or height map engraving and other stuff like that. You don't need a rotary device to do 3D. You can, but you don't need it. There are other functionalities that you can do with rotary devices in 3D, but we don't really get into that because we don't really cover it, at least as of yet.
I'm glad somebody got my joke because Kyle
Yeah.
didn't.
Engraved Dreams.
Didn't even register your joke.
I heard you laugh, Matt.
Yeah, because you're an idiot. But
because it was funny.
All right. Well, but here's the thing. Wouldn't you use a rotary attachment for the tumbler? No. Here's another example real quick.
I didn't do this with a rotary.
Yeah. So
rotary is so much slower.
Cylinder correction is something where basically you, through the science of math, if that makes sense, basically they were able to, your lens can project an image down and understand that it's got a certain height to it based off the diameter of the item that you're hitting. And we've got a whole video on it on how to do it and how it works. But this is something that has like a really bad taper. Let me make myself big here. Whoop. And this is what Kyle was just talking about. So let's see. Yeah, there you go. Frank the Tank. This is actually something I made for a person who's in, I think, the Air Force. It was, or one of the military branches. And so if you look, this one has a really nasty kerf on it, or not kerf. Oh my God, help me out, guys.
Taper.
Thank you. Kerf. Jesus Christ. It's got a really nasty taper on it because it goes. I mean, look at that. Like it's straight up a cone, right? Kyle's was a way nicer taper to it where it doesn't have to calculate as much. But you could see one that wasn't so great. And so you could see this one actually looks okay, but you can see it looks more like an oval than a circle. So long story short, it's able to kind of do those things. And with calculating it a little more, you can hit it and make it a lot more circular. I don't know why it's focusing on me, but there you go. So there was a quick recalculation. It looked a lot better. But anyways, these take about 50 seconds a piece. And this is where when talking to Best YouTuber about like making your money back, I got these cups for Johnson Plastics Plus sells them for $4.
They're having a great day today.
Well, I'm just saying, I bought a group buy. I knew a piece of shit. Anyways, I'm just trying to tell him like that's where you get your money back.
Did you know it's from Johnson Plastics Plus?
That's a piece of shit. Anyways, I'm just trying to tell you, I got these in a group buy for a couple bucks a piece. We got a huge amount of them, and so I sold these for like $10 to $12. So if they hit a certain number, they're $12. If past that, it's 11, 10, all the way down to 9. And I maxed out at 9. And so literally making these in 50 seconds. That's pretty much it. Ed,
oh my God.
I saw it.
Throw it up right now.
Why does Matt say long story short after he's been talking for 20 minutes without saying anything? Ouch. Thanks, Ed.
Dude,
I appreciate it.
I ask him that weekly at the least. So welcome. Matt
okay. We love Matt.
Yeah.
Matt is the king of long stories he thinks are short.
Well,
also,
if you're from the South, this is not even a long story.
If you are looking for either of those episodes, great news. They're on our YouTube channel. If you're using EasyCAD for some reason in 2024, you can find it under Project Mark Essentials, because in EasyCAD it's called Project Mark. Or if you're on Lightburn, you can look at the Lightburn for Galvo crash course. It's a mid-season episode, and it's just called Cylinder Correction. So pretty easy to find either one of those, and we teach you exactly how to do that step by step with a regular quote-unquote 2D laser. So,
by the way, Engraved Dream gets it again. It's just a way to end a long story. That's from the South. Like I can tell he must be from somewhere from the South, or she. By the way, I got a story for you guys if you want to hear it real quick.
We are at 77 minutes.
So
also, I've decided that I'm just going to publish this as a podcast episode because why not?
Since we're going long. You'll say common laser products are highly saturated. People are going to need new ideas for the next season.
Yeah.
I think this is a mixed bag. And the reason why is because I'm getting asked repeatedly for cork and slate and tumblers all the time. And I don't really even do that. So
yeah, there's like staple items. I feel like slate coasters are like staple items that you should have. There's a few things you should absolutely have, period. But then, to stand out and to get people, I think the attention getters is what Kyle and Alex had talked about before, like the things that grab people and make them come up to the tent.
You want to make some unique stuff that you you're designing, you're making for, locals if that's your market, right? Or, whatever. But make something your own. Be good at it. Something nobody else is doing. Put a spin on something that other people are doing, and that way it's yours.
Do
I just
something normal,
realized
but do it exceptionally.
that this has a TF card slot on it, and there's a micro SD card in it.
Oh,
which I
Well,
can't
there's
take
your
out.
SoC and operating system.
Well, I was gonna say that must be like the NAND, right? Because what else would they be using it for on a board like this?
It's probably literally booting the OS from that.
I know.
For the board.
We have a lot to learn about this, guys. This is going to be a journey. It's probably not going to happen right away. We've got like 80 million other projects I told you guys we were going to do that we haven't started. So it will come. It's here. That was the main thing today, was that I just wanted to let you guys know that I fucking have it. We'll do it.
Last thing.
You've broken me.
Last thing, because he's been on fire today. Best YouTuber said, I think there's a big gap in the market for mixed discipline items. That is literally the main reason why I wanted to get into sublimation, is because color and CO2 lasers, like, you can make some really custom items that make a lot of money. Like, I know I could charge more for doing the same project that just had colors or more customization to it. And so for getting in under, it's like $750 to be able to do that, no problem. So anyways, I appreciate that you guys recognize that I talk a lot, because Kyle is down here sometimes and then I'm up here, and we're just a good balance. Just saying.
All right, guys. I think that is that. So
wait. They have one last question, Anthony, and someone else asked it earlier. Is that going on the 3-watt or is that going on the 30-watt?
I don't know yet. I don't know what wavelength. My laser's a 5-watt. But I don't know what wavelength the scan head is for. So I don't know. When I have to ask Steven what the hell they sent me. I assumed it would be labeled. And I made a couple suggestions about what wavelength they could send this for, but I don't see anything in this box confirming it. Like I said, they knew that I would be tearing this thing apart and putting it back together, because they didn't even bother to put the warranty stickers on. The warranty, if expired, if broken stickers, they just tossed them in the bag. So this is a very low-key, under the table passage of this equipment. So I have to text them a couple questions. When I find out what this is for, I'll let you guys know. I'll make like a YouTube community post or something to update you on it. I'll message Steven when he wakes up tonight, and we'll figure it out.
There you go. All right, outro.
I was trying.
Go.
We just keep interrupting you.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of what is now the Laser Source podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to smash the like button. Let everybody else know the content is good. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified the next time we go live. Keep an eye out for information on 3D engraving. That's a thing we do now. Also, keep an eye out for information on sublimation. I guess we do that too. And if you want to, there's new ways to support the channel, especially if you're restricted to PayPal only. You can go over to lasereverything.net/support to find out how you can get custom Discord roles along with your YouTube membership, Patreon subscription, coffee subscription. There's all kinds of new ways to support the channel. You don't get the stuff you get from the LMA. This is like its own separate thing with its own separate list of goodies, mostly aimed at our friends in Europe that don't readily have access to credit cards or don't use them on a regular basis. But it's available to everybody, so if you want to check it out, again, you can find out more over at lasereverything.net/support, which is also where we have a ton of great information about the Laser Master Academy, the #1 way to support the channel. If you're looking for help with your lasers, that is the place to go. I seriously hope you check it out. We're over 4,000 members now, so really looking forward to having you there as well. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming out. I still have to finish one thing that I'm going to go do right now, guys, is go cut some wood up because I was doing a project to be like Matt and Kyle, because they're my idols, about how to cut boxes with boxes.py. And I wanted to do it too, because everybody else did it and I didn't get to do it. So I want to finish that. And we have to wrap up our material test for Johnson Plastics Plus. They have a whole nother box of stuff over here that we haven't unboxed yet that we'll do an unboxing for soon. So I've got a brand new box that Jackie sent over that we need to like get out on the table and show off and talk about. So that's coming. We've got our portable lasers to look at. We've got our test bench to build. It's just infinite.
I wish we had enough to do. You know?
Yeah, and you know, Matt and Kyle are busy with their things. We didn't even get to talk about the terracotta, so we'll have to talk about that soon.
Say long story short.
Find, excuse me, throat's so dry today. Find Kyle online and ask him about the terracotta. And I think that's all I've got. Are you guys good?
Leave a comment asking about the terracotta.
Please,
after the video
God,
and hit refresh.
When this video is over, refresh the page and leave a comment. It does so much to help this particular episode of the channel. We would really appreciate a comment from you. I think that's all I've got. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.
Night, everybody.
Bye, guys.